Well, welcome everyone to Love vs. Hate. My name is Anne, and I am your old-fashioned nerd.
And I'm Emily, your mainstream millennial.
And we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different today. So normally, Emily and I just pick a topic that we both hate and or love, or vice versa, or whatever combination of that, and we debate about it. But we wanted to do something a little bit different. We want to try doing like a series. So we're going to start off with our childhood. So we want to just focus on things that we loved in our childhood, share them with the other, and see, does that person agree? Do they love it? Do they hate it? Did they experience it as a child? Who knows? We're going to find out together.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about TV shows that we used to watch and love, movies that we used to watch, maybe like a specific like place that we used to go, or just like something that we remember from our childhood that just has really stuck with us all this time. And so today we're going to be talking about some of our favorite TV shows, actually just one each.
Yeah, to start off. I mean, who knows? Maybe we end up watching 5 TV shows. I don't know. I watched a lot. Well, I feel like I watched a lot as a kid.
Yeah. And it can really range from like when you were 4 years old to when you were, I don't know, in middle school or something.
Yeah, we don't probably want to avoid high school at the moment. Maybe we'll have to do a high school series.
Yeah.
And the thing that I think will be fun is we'll just see, do we still love it now? Because a lot of it I probably haven't seen since I was a kid. So.
Yeah, I have fond memories, but then am I still going to think it's really all that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have to find out.
Yeah, we got to find out.
So, Anne, why don't you go ahead and share yours first?
So to start this off, Emily and I actually wanted to play a fun game where we present some clues to see if the other can guess what show we're going to be talking about.
I'm excited.
So to start off, the show that I'm going to show you was originally aired on the BBC.
The Great British Baking Show.
Nope. It is animated. And I'll try, I mean, they might not be exact. I'm going to try and like start off harder and then I'll get easier as we go. It was made in 1989. At least that's when the first episode aired. There was actually originally there were only 3 episodes, and they're not, you could also consider them like short movies. They also, in later years, like more in the 2000s, they kind of got revamped, and their full feature film came out with the same characters, same design. They were claymation.
Wallace and Gromit.
She got it! Yes!
Yay!
The claymation was what did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Did you watch, like, the originals?
I think so, because we had the 3 VHS pack.
Yeah. Yep, it was the 3.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I'm so happy that I guessed it.
I'm so proud of you. I kind of, I thought the claymation was going to be a big one, so.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so the original 3 that you probably had as the VHS tape set, which is what I had as well as a kid, it was A Grand Day Out, The Wrong Trousers, The Wrong Trousers, that's kind of hard to say.
The Wrong Trousers.
And A Close Shave. Do you remember all 3 of those?
No.
Do you remember any of them?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just remember Wallace and Gromit.
Okay. I definitely, as a kid, I watched those tapes till they were, like, just static, basically. Like, I watched those over and over as a kid, those 3 specifically. I think my favorite was always the first one, which was A Grand Day Out, just because it takes place in space.
Wait, okay. I remember one about the moon.
Yep, that's that one.
Yeah.
So they go to the moon, they build the spaceship, go to the moon, and it's made out of cheese. And there's a robot there that they kind of befriend, but also...
That's totally crazy, because the first thing that I remembered of Wallace and Gromit was like, I was like, oh, is there something with like cheese and a moon? No, that can't be right.
Nope, that was 100% right. Yep, that's the first one. And then The Wrong Trousers is when Wallace accidentally steps into these like mechanical trousers that this penguin controls, and he's trying to steal the diamond. Do you remember the little penguin?
No.
Okay.
But I remember the pants.
Yeah. And so then he gets like stuck in them, and then the penguin is controlling him, and then they go through this like emotional, he has to like, yeah. So it's about that. And then the close shave is with the sheep. And there's like the, that one I don't remember as well, because that one scared me as a kid. And I watched that one for sure the least out of the 3. But it was I remember this, machine. There was a dog that got turned into a machine. Or it was a bad machine that they turned into a good dog? Any of this ringing a bell for you?
I remember sheep.
Yeah, and there was an older woman who Wallace ends up kind of falling for, who, like, actually knit
Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We spoil stuff on this podcast. Everybody knows that. But yeah, so Wallace and Gromit was my pick. They were always, like, as a child, they were easy go-tos. They're short, and they're really just cute. And, I mean, I love dogs, so, Gromit was, like, one of my favorites. And I think they honestly hold up really well I hope they do. We're going to watch it again and see how we feel about it. But I feel like they still hold up well to today's, like, movies and stuff that's out. And
yeah.
I feel like, especially with the claymation, it's still just kind of a classic that can last throughout the decades.
Did you ever watch Chicken Run? I think that's what
I did. Yeah, it was made by the same people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I loved that movie too.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't as big a fan of that one.
How dare you?
I know. It feels like one that would be right up my alley. And it's not that I hated it. I liked Wallace and Gromit better.
All right, well, shall we watch some Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so we just finished watching a few clips. So we weren't able to find it streaming, unfortunately. We'll have to go to our local library and hopefully maybe we can watch the full thing. I don't know if they would have it.
Or pull out your VHS.
Yeah, but I don't have a VHS player.
Oh, well, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, well, we'll have to try that. But either way, we were able to find some clips of it on YouTube, and I highly suggest to all of our listeners, if you liked Wallace and Gromit as a kid, even just watching a couple of scenes from the movie, that was a huge trip down memory lane for me. It was so cute. Oh, man, I was smiling the whole time. I forgot how happy that made me. Like, it made me so happy.
Yeah, I do. Like, I think it still holds up till today. Just with, like, the claymation. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah. And it reminds me a lot, like, the humor and just the way that Wallace reminds me a lot of Mr. Bean. And so, yeah. I still liked it.
Yeah. And honestly, like, watching it now and having, I read up on it a little bit and that it was from the BBC, I never as a kid understood that he was British. I just got that now. And the way he's like, come on, lad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's so British. How did I? And like his Wensleydale or all his different cheese types.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I not realize that? But, and Gromit is my favorite. Like, he never speaks, but he has such expressive, like, facial
expressions.
And he's just he's like, it's just my favorite now. I want to watch all three of them over again.
Yeah, I have to say though, Wallace is kind of creepy looking, especially when he like opens his mouth to like whistle for Gromit. That was kind of creepy to me.
Yeah, it's early claymation.
Yeah.
But Emily, can you kind of just, for any of our listeners maybe who haven't watched it, what was kind of just your impression of it? Like, just a little brief overview. If you remember. If you don't, I can also do it.
I love how she has to say, if you remember. So we watched 2 clips. The first clip was a couple minutes showing Wallace and Gromit creating the... What is that thing called?
It's a rocket. Yeah,
that takes I was going to say robot, but that wasn't right. Creating the rocket that was going to take them to space. And it's just like, it shows a little funny stuff, like Wallace is sawing something on a table and then he like saws through part of the table, so he calls in Gromit to come be part of the table, and Gromit's just looking real annoyed. And then the second clip that we watched was when they actually got to the moon. They set up their picnic and their blanket and all their stuff, and he cut off a piece of the moon, some moon cheese, to try it out. And he's like, not as good as I thought. Yep. He didn't say that, but basically that's what he was saying. And then he goes and tries to find something else, and he runs into this machine that steals his coin. Stupid machine.
They always do that. Yeah, so that's the scenes we watched, and overall, the whole point of them they went to the moon was because they didn't have any cheese, and Wallace even says, "There's cheese on the moon," and so he builds a ship just to go get cheese. One of my favorite moments that I feel like my parents always quoted to me, and I even still like it still like comes up. I feel like in conversation sometimes it's just like, "The crackers, Gromit! We forgot the crackers!" And it's like this because they're on their countdown, right? They're about to like take off. We didn't watch this scene, but this might, and they're about to take off, and so Wallace has to like run out, and it's like this all hectic, but he manages to get the crackers. And
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
but that's funny.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a classic. I think it definitely still holds up. The whole time I was watching it, I was grinning from ear to ear because I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how much I loved this.
And like, it's not super cheesy, no pun intended. But it's not super cheesy like some of the other child shows you might go back and reminisce and watch, and you're like, wow, this was super bad.
Yeah, like why did
possibly
I like this
maybe one of my shows that I'm going to show you.
Oh boy, I don't know about so yeah, good job, Mom and Dad. You picked a good one for us to watch as kids. I still love it, and I'm gonna dig up my old VHSs and bring them to you, Emily, so we can watch them on your VHS player.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right. Well, my show.
Yeah, tell me.
Is
well,
actually
don't tell me.
on a streaming service, so we could watch the whole episode if we wanted to.
If it's Dora the Explorer, I'm out.
Girl, you think I watched Dora the Explorer?
I don't know. You're mainstream, so
wow.
Yes.
Dora came out like after we were the age of watching Dora.
Okay, good.
I mean, I did watch it, but only because I babysat the kids who watched it.
Okay.
Okay, so here are my clues.
Yes, I'm so ready.
It ran from 1998 to 2004.
Okay.
It was played on Playhouse Disney.
Playhouse Disney? Oh, dear.
It is not a cartoon and doesn't really have a storyline.
Okay, I'm going to start naming off all of the Disney movies from that ish time period that
It's not a movie, it's a show.
Oh, well, I meant show. Even Stevens?
No.
Lizzie McGuire?
You're too late.
Oh, am I?
I mean, I don't think those shows started in 1998.
Okay, keep giving me clues then.
To get into the clubhouse, you have to build it first.
Is Big Bear in the giant house?
No, it's not Bear in the Big Blue House.
That was okay, nope. Blue's Clues?
No. My last clue is I'm going to hum part of the theme song.
Okay. Out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. Yeah, I've never watched that.
What? Oh my gosh. I loved that show. I thought it was the coolest thing ever because just the theme song was like, take one box, put it with another. And they like created this box fort and they decorated it and then they like climbed in and it was like a whole entire new world in there. And I was like, wow, I wish I could go in there because that's really awesome.
I can't believe I know Out of the Box without ever having watched any of it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess it's just one of those things that like, because I definitely did not watch much Disney Channel at all growing up as a kid. It's something I feel like our generation, it's like that was a huge push for Disney Plus. Is it's like you can watch all the old Disney Channel shows and movies, and I'm like, I never watched any of those, not like any of them.
And yet she still has Disney Plus. She watched the movies, some of them. Right? The Disney, like Aristocats, Lion King.
Well, I watch the Disney movies, but not Disney Channel movies. Not the dom-coms or whatever.
The decom.
Decom.
The rom-coms.
Whatever. But yet, I'm surprised I got that with the...
I am too. Good job.
Thank you.
Wow, we both guessed ours. That's
Yay!
awesome. So, I used to watch this, I'm pretty sure at my grandma's house. And I just remember loving the theme song, like I said. Like, that's the thing that I remember about this show. I don't really remember anything else. So we're going to go ahead and see what we think.
Yeah, I'm excited because it's going to kind of be a first time for me.
Oh, it's so exciting. Do you want me to tell you a little bit of background on the show first?
Please do.
Okay. So it's about this group of kids and their caretakers, which their names are Tony and Viv. And so they go into their clubhouse thing, and they just do, like, arts and crafts, or they learn something, or yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
It's literally, I don't know why it's a show, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of shows. I feel like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was kind of the first of that style, where it's, just kind of a host who then goes about and either does like crafts or just talks, and like there's a lot of shows that have come after that, so it's kind of like inspired by that maybe.
Yeah, and I definitely think that maybe Dora takes a little bit after this, because they're like, oh, look at this. What could this be? Except for they don't stare at you waiting for you to respond like Dora does.
Yeah, that's fair. See, for me, with those type of shows growing up as a kid, it was Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street. Those were the shows that I would watch. Well, and I did watch Barney as well. But those were like the sort of educational, kid-oriented shows that I didn't watch any like Disney Channel ones like that.
Did you ever watch Zaboomafoo?
Only when I went to my neighbor's house, because they actually had cable. I didn't have cable growing up, so like a lot of these, that might be a large reason why I didn't end up watching a lot of it, because the stuff I watched was whatever my parents had either like saved, if they had on tape, or if they just had recorded it from, what do you call that? Oh my gosh, I feel so stupid right now. What, like when you record a show on TV? Yeah.
Was it called TiVo?
Oh, maybe.
Otherwise, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like there was a specific word that I'm not thinking of where you, would just like...
set something
DVR.
DVR.
That's what I wanted. There we go.
Right,
okay, I got there in the end.
All
Anyway,
right.
yeah, let's... do you want to watch?
Yeah, let's watch. Let's see how much Anne can stand.
It probably won't be long.
Oh my gosh. That was a trip.
Emily, how far did we get into the episode before you were like, okay?
I had to turn it off. Couldn't watch it any longer at 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Oh, wow.
Oh,
that was a lot better when I was like 4 or however old I was.
I will say, though, the intro was still fun.
Yeah, the theme song, still love it.
Yep, still holds up, but
everything else sucked. Especially the resolution.
Yeah, I was surprised for being on Disney Plus. I mean, they must just not have a saved,
like, better version.
Res,
yeah. It literally looked like if you wear glasses or contacts, like you didn't have your glasses or contacts in, and you were like, it's a little blurry. Oh, man. Yeah. And then I did say that they don't talk to you like, they don't talk to the camera like they're talking to you, but she did.
She did a lot.
She was like, did you see that frog?
I was waiting to hear, what's Tony and the kids. Do you hear them? I don't hear anything.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad.
Yeah.
So
it was a little bad.
Within the 4 minutes, what happened?
Well, we got to enjoy the theme song. And then they went into the box, and it was just the woman there. And she was like, oh, I'm just tidying up, because she had a piano that had flowers all over it. So you best believe that piano couldn't actually play.
Yeah.
It was a prop piano. But then she was like, oh, I have to wait to hear from Tony and the kids. And it was kind of awkward, because we're like, yeah, we don't need to know that information. We'll move on. And then she heard a piano play, and she was like, who could be there? I don't see anybody. Do you see anybody? And it's like this surprise. And so then she goes around the corner, and lo and behold, it is a frog that is playing the piano, and that's why you can see it.
Yeah, and they're playing it really well, because, like, obviously a toad just sitting on a couple keys can play, like...
it was a frog.
Sorry. A frog. I don't mean to discriminate.
But yeah, so the frog played a couple keys and then jumped off, and apparently she couldn't find it. I even said to Emily, she's like looking around, she's like, where'd you go, frog? Ribbit, ribbit. And she's like calling out to the frog. And I'm like, Emily, she's gonna squish it. And she's like, no, she's not. I'm like, squish it, squish it.
They can't do that on Disney.
Yeah, no. But then eventually the kids come in, and then she's like, oh, I saw this frog. And then the kids are like, we saw a frog too. And it jumped like this. And then they all jump and pretend to jump as high as they possibly can, like frogs. And,
and then Viv, the female caretaker, wow, that was hard. She was like, oh, you jump like this. You crouch down and jump.
And we were like,
It was so cringy.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
My favorite part though was when the kids come in and Tony comes in and she's like, I saw a frog too, and he was playing the piano, and then the camera pans to like one of the kids' faces and he's just like,
wow.
uh-huh.
That's impressive. Not.
Like he literally just gave her this like deadpan face.
Oh my gosh,
just, like,
it was so funny.
Sure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was horrible. But
do you like still cherish it though as a child, like for your childhood memories, but just don't cherish it anymore? Or
I
how do you
cherish
feel
the
about
theme song. That's it.
Okay, that's fair.
And I cherish Nope, that's it.
And that's honestly, the theme song is the only way I would have ever, and I did get the show. Because like if you had said Tony, Viv, kids,
Yeah.
I'd been like, I got nothing. But as soon as you started humming it, I was like, oh yeah, out of the box.
Out of the box.
So
yeah, I feel like they could totally, like, somebody has got to do a re-edit to make it, like, into a horror film. You know, like, you could totally do that.
No. That's like a horrible idea. I think it would actually be terrifying.
It would, and that's why it would be so good.
Yeah, and I feel like because...
She would be like, did you hear that?
Well, and I think it would actually mess with people because it is this like childhood memory that you have, and then to turn it horror, like your inner child is just like mortified by this.
Love it.
Yeah. So that was out of the box.
Yeah. I did enjoy watching like their fashion, just like seeing what they wore back then with their like, this girl had patches all over her jeans. I remember putting patches on my jeans. Did you do that?
No,
she wasn't.
I've never been a
stylish.
fashion I've never been stylish or into
Like
the fashion
even
thing.
when like I would rip my jeans sometimes, like I would like play outside and I would rip holes in my knees.
I'm sure
My mom would put patches on my jeans.
Yeah, I'm sure my mom did too. I kind of vaguely remember something like that, but let's just talk like that from now on in our podcast.
Well, anyways, I'm not going to talk like that.
Okay, that's fine. I think all of our listeners are grateful.
Yes. So we are going to be continuing this series we haven't really planned out how often we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But we'll do it every once in a while. Just bring back some of our old childhood memories, see if we actually enjoy them anymore.
Yeah.
Or if we're like, why the heck did we watch that?
Yeah. Now we hate it. But Wallace and Gromit, Emily, classic. What is your life lesson from Wallace and Gromit?
My life lesson is never forget the crackers.
Yeah, very true. Because you just don't get to enjoy the cheese as much by itself without the crackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
What's
that's very good.
your life lesson for Out of the Box?
I honestly, even though the show itself, didn't quite hold up to our standards now as adults, but I do think the concept is still really good. Like, get out of the box, be imaginative, use what you have, like simple cardboard, make something imaginative, fun, and just roll with it. I think that's cool.
My other life lesson is if you have a piano, like, don't ruin it by putting flowers in it.
Yeah, and also, if you have a piano, don't have the expectation that a frog will actually weigh enough to push down those keys and apply pressure to actually play the piano, because I don't think that would happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, we will have to definitely put out on our social just some polls, and you guys have to let us know what were some TV shows that you really loved as a kid, and do they still hold up? Do you still love it today, or do you now kind of hate it and don't understand why as a kid you enjoyed it in the first place?
Yeah, and maybe we can look at some of your guys' favorite shows and movies, and we'll see if we love it or hate it.
Yeah, so you guys can reach out to us on our social media platforms, which is Facebook, Twitter, you're welcome,
So proud.
and Instagram. And you can also check us out on YouTube or email us at loveversushatepodcast.com. That's VS for versus.
Yes. And if you like our podcast or love our podcast and you want to leave us a review, we would love that. You can leave a 5-star review, and you can leave a written review as well if you want on Apple Podcast.
Yes. And just thank you guys for listening. And don't forget to love everything that I love and hate everything that Emily hates.
Wow, that's really mean, Anne.
Oh.
I can't believe you just said that. I'm going to go home and cry
now.
now.
You're making me feel bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
I am.